Hey everyone, it's Professor Clark, and in this lecture, we are going to talk about location and direction with animate nouns. In the last chapter, we talked about location and direction with inanimate nouns, or in other words, places, and in this chapter, we're going to talk about location and direction with animate nouns, or in other words, people. And just like with places, when we're talking about location in reference to people, we have three questions, sort of three orientations that we can have. We can have где, location, откуда, movement from, and куда, movement towards. And let's start with answering the question где, or if you know that you're going to be talking about a person, you would use the construction у кого, at whose place. And so when we want to talk about location and we're orienting ourselves in reference to a person rather than a place, we're going to use the construction u plus genitive, just like the construction for having. So у меня can mean either I have or at my place. U literally means nearby, at, or in the vicinity of. And this is important because it means that you are close to something, you're in the vicinity of something, but you're not inside of it. So v means inside of, so we use it to describe enclosed spaces. Na means on top of or at, so we use it to describe open spaces or activities. And u basically means beside or in the vicinity of. So this is what we use when we're talking about people. We can also use it to talk about places if you're wanting to say, for example, that you're standing by the door or standing by the window. But we have to use it with people because, of course, when you're at someone's place, you're standing by them, you're in their vicinity, but you're not inside of them. Generally, well, let's just not go there. Let's just say that in general, we talk about being beside someone or near someone in their vicinity. And depending on the context, this u plus genitive can mean at their house, in their room, or in their office or at their workplace. But it just means that you're in their vicinity and you are orienting yourself in reference to them. So, for example, if we say u Andreevich, we mean at the Andreevs, like at the Andreevs' house. U profesora or u vracha, however, means that you're at their office. So, я у врача means I'm at the doctor's office. Я у профессора means I'm with my professor, I'm at my professor's office. And if we want to talk about coming from a person, so we're describing motion away from and we're orienting ourselves in reference to a person rather than a place, we use от plus the genitive. От is another preposition that means from. There are three prepositions that mean from: is, sa, and от. Is means from the inside of, so we use it to describe exiting an enclosed space. Sa means down from or off of, and we use it to describe leaving an open space or activity. От means away from the vicinity of or away from the outside of. So when you're standing outside of something and you move away from it, you use от. You can also use от in reference to buildings or enclosed spaces if you were standing outside of them and moving away from them. But we always use it with people to describe leaving someone's place or leaving someone's presence, or to receive something from someone because you were standing next to them or standing nearby them and then you moved away from their presence. You moved away from their exterior. And once again, it can indicate the other person's room, their home, their office, or their workplace as the starting point of the motion. Those are just dependent on context. The important thing that it tells you is that the reference is this other person, not a place. So if you say, я иду от друга, you're coming from a meeting with a friend. Maybe you were at the friend's house, maybe you met up with them at a cafe or something like that. But the important thing is that you were meeting with a friend. If you say, я иду от Андреевых, it means you were coming from the Andreev's house, or it could mean that you were meeting up with them somewhere like in the park and you're coming from them. If you say я иду от преподавателя, that probably means you're coming from a meeting with your professor in their office. But it could also mean that you met up with them somewhere else. But the important thing is that you are orienting yourself in reference to another person and not a place. And then finally, if we want to answer the question, kuda, where are you going, in reference to a person rather than a place, we use the construction ka plus the dative. And ka plus the dative indicates motion up to, and like these other prepositions, you can also use them with places or spaces if you were indicating motion up to the exterior of them. So you can use ka with a house or a building if you walk up to the outside, but you don't go inside. And again, of course, when you encounter a person, you're going to walk up to them, but you're not going to infiltrate their body unless you're some kind of a ghost or something like that. In which case you would use va, but normally in ordinary human interactions, we use ka plus the dative. And once again, it can indicate that you walked up to them, or it can mean that you went to their home, their room, their office, their place of work, anywhere where they are located. You're orienting yourself in reference to them. So, я подошла к Кате means I walked up to Katya. Подойти is to walk up to something. Я подошла к Кате. I walked up to Katya. I saw her walking across campus, and I went up to her. Я пойду к Ивану means I'm going to Ivan's. Probably you're going to his house or going to his apartment or something. Я пойду к врачу means I'm going to the doctor or I have a doctor's appointment. So there you have it. It's pretty straightforward. There are no new cases. We've already reviewed the genitive. And for the next lecture, we will do a quick review of the dative.